Before Cleopatra ever wore the crown of Egypt, there was another queen, one who ruled not from the shadows but from the throne itself. She commanded armies, built towering monuments, and expanded Egypt's wealth and influence beyond measure. But unlike Cleopatra, you've probably never heard of her. Her name was Hatshepsut, and after her death, her story was deliberately erased from history. Hatshepsut lived over 3,000 years ago, in the 15th century BCE, during Egypt's 18th dynasty. At a time when women were expected to serve as wives, priestesses, or perhaps regents behind the scenes, she did something unthinkable. She declared herself Pharaoh, not just a queen, but Egypt's living god-king. She wore the ceremonial beard of pharaohs, took on male titles, and ruled for over 2 decades. How did she manage such a feat in a rigidly male-dominated world? Hatshepsut began her rise to power as the wife and half-sister of Pharaoh Thutmose II. When he died young, their son, Thutmose III, was still a child. As the boy's stepmother, she initially acted as regent, ruling in his place. But within a few years, she took a bold step. She crowned herself Pharaoh. It was unprecedented. She even claimed that Amun, the chief god of Egypt, had chosen her for the throne. To justify her reign, she commissioned artworks and inscriptions depicting her divine birth, suggesting that she was not merely human, but born of the gods. She was portrayed as both a man and a woman in statues and carvings, and the people accepted her. Under her rule, Egypt thrived. She launched ambitious building projects, including the magnificent temple at Deir el-Bahari, still standing today near the Valley of the Kings. Unlike many pharaohs who focused on war, Hatshepsut emphasized trade and diplomacy. She reopened trade routes, most notably to the land of Punt, bringing back exotic goods like incense, ivory, gold, and myrrh. These were not the actions of a figurehead or placeholder. Hatshepsut was a capable, visionary leader. But when she died, possibly of bone cancer or skin disease in her late 40s, the story took a dark turn. Her stepson Thutmose III, who had been a co-ruler in name but sidelined in power, finally took full control. And in the years that followed, a systematic campaign was launched to erase Hatshepsut's legacy. Her statues were smashed, her name was chiseled off walls. In some cases, her face was replaced with that of other kings. For centuries, her story was hidden, buried under layers of stone and silence. Why did this happen? Some historians believe Thutmose III wanted to reassert the traditional line of male succession. Others think that future priests and scribes feared that Hatshepsut's example might encourage other women to seek power. Whatever the reason, it worked. For nearly 3,000 years, the name Hatshepsut was forgotten. Even the massive temple she built became a mystery. No one knew who had commissioned it. It wasn't until the 19th century when archaeologists began uncovering broken statues and damaged inscriptions that her story slowly began to re-emerge. In 1903, British archaeologist Howard Carter, the same man who would later discover King Tut's tomb, found a tomb containing her royal insignia. But even then, it took decades to fully piece together her legacy. In 2007, using advanced CT scans and DNA analysis, scientists positively identified Hatshepsut's mummy hidden in a small, unmarked tomb in the Valley of the Kings. The woman who once ruled the mightiest empire on Earth had been placed in an anonymous grave, her name lost to time. But history has a way of restoring what was forgotten. Today, Hatshepsut is recognized as one of Egypt's greatest rulers, a master of propaganda, politics, and diplomacy. In many ways, her reign set the stage for the powerful queens who came after her, including Cleopatra. But while Cleopatra's name lives on in movies and myths, Hatshepsut's story is still being pieced together, one fragment at a time. And perhaps that's what makes her story even more powerful. She defied an empire's expectations, and when they tried to erase her, they only made her legacy more fascinating. Because no matter how deep you bury the truth, history remembers.